So I just wanted to share with you guys a quote that I came across a few weeks ago that had a huge impact on me. So it is: greatness is a result of visionaries who persevere, focus, believe and prepare. It is a habit and not a birthright. So for those of you who know me, I've done about 10 years of college, and last year I graduated with a PhD. And during my PhD, I also started up 2 other projects. So one of them was Mad About the Voice Ireland with Joshua Alamu, which is an artist development program. And the other one is Spiritus Studios, which is my research in rhythm and beat and using that through music to help children with special needs. So over Christmas, I took some time out to really consider what skills I needed to develop in order to take those 2 projects into a career. So I started to introduce things into my schedule, considering I had no PhD study to do anymore. And I included things like daily artist practice, daily piano, artist development sessions, and a couple of other things as well. So around about that time, Joshua Alamu introduced a 300-day vocal practice challenge. And basically this was a collective group of singers who committed to doing 300 days of practice between the beginning of February and the end of 2016. And I realised 2 things. When you choose to pursue a habit or a practice, whether that is to join a choir, do singing lessons, a book club, a gym class, a yoga class, a cookery class, whatever it is, when you choose to do that, you become a fellow motivator and a fellow supporter to everybody else who has those same interests as you and who wants to achieve those same skills as you. So you become a fellow motivator and a fellow supporter. Now the reason this is so important is because, as many of you know, often the journey to pursuing excellence can be quite lonely, and people often see the tip of the iceberg, which is the success, but they don't necessarily see all the sweat and the hard work that went into achieving those goals. So when you mix with like-minded people, you become more motivated, and you also have that support system in place, which is really important. Now the second thing is, when we started up Mad About the Voice Ireland in 2014, I bought a piano. And my intention was to learn the piano. And I talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. So last year I went to Ultimate Artist in August, and Ultimate Artist is an artist development program. It was founded by Joshua Alamu as well. So if anybody hasn't heard of it before, Google it because it is amazing. So this is my 3rd year going to it. And at the end of the program, we all had to perform a song. So one of the lads went up and he performed a beautiful, beautiful song. His name was Jake. And what was so beautiful about his song was not the song itself, but the fact that he accompanied himself on piano. Now Jake had only started learning piano, I think like 2 or 3 months previously to that occasion. So when I saw Jake playing the piano, it was like this light switch went on in my head, and I thought, right, that is it. From now on, I'm not going to talk about learning the piano, and I'm actually going to go and learn the piano. So when I went home from UA, I rang up a piano teacher and I started weekly piano lessons, and I've been doing those since. So my point is, when you choose to pursue that habit, you also set an example for other people who are struggling to get on that journey, who want to learn a skill, who want to have a particular vision in mind, a particular goal in mind, but find it very hard to start. And I think that when you start to set that example, you encourage other people to do that as well. Now, one of the things we all talk about is change. And we've all heard the quote a million times that you don't get better by chance, you get better by change. And I think change is such a huge word, and it can be quite an overwhelming word. But my point is that it doesn't actually have to be. It doesn't have to be so big. So, once you introduce a daily habit or remove a toxic habit, you automatically contribute to a change. It might be so tiny, but it's still a change. And once you start to pursue that on a daily and a weekly basis, it can have a huge impact on your life. So I think this is really important for us. Number 1, to be a fellow supporter, and number 2, to set an example. And what it does is kind of a beautiful thing really for those of us who are educators and those of us who are parents. You set an example for your children. So when you are pursuing your own goals and putting in that daily practice to develop your own skills, you also instill that in your child. And what you really say to your child, you teach them the value and the importance of persistence, hard work, passion, following your goals. And I think that's a really important value, it's a really important trait. So I just like to refer back again to the earlier quote that I gave, and it is that greatness is not a birthright, it is a habit. And once you introduce a tiny habit, it can be just 15 minutes, you can go and see that huge change.